Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here. Today is my first day that I'm start sharing my journey to becoming a data professional after my military service in the United States Army. While I was in the Army, I served as a psychological operations sergeant, which is part of the United States Army's Special Operations Command. And post-Army, I did not know really what I wanted to do. And luckily, I stumbled across this opportunity with an organization that provides consulting services to the government. But specifically for me, I was hired as a data analyst. And in the meantime, over these past 4 years, I transitioned from a data analyst over to a data scientist and now trying to be an AI engineer, and kind of want to take you guys along this journey of me becoming a data career professional and how I kind of got involved in this tech journey. Now, a little bit about myself. I did not have any professional experience within the information technology career space, nor did I have any higher education regarding that. So my approach and journey on becoming a data career professional was very unconventional. So hopefully this encourages some of you guys to follow along the journey and gives you guys a motivation to show you that it can be done even if you don't have higher education within this career space. So with that being said, I'm gonna get started first with showing you guys how to utilize Python within a Jupyter Notebook. Now, first and foremost, if you don't have access to Jupyter Notebook yet, you need to download it from Anaconda. And if you can just go to anaconda.com, you select free download, and it will take you to this installer page. On this installer page, you can then select whether you want to install the distribution installers or mini-conda installers. That's personal preference. I just utilize the distribution installer, and mine is a Mac. So this service works and software works for whether it's Mac, Linux, or Windows. So whichever one you utilize, you can download it for there. Now, once you have this installed and you open the Anaconda Navigator, it will take you to a page that looks like this. And this page shows you different types of integrated development environments or IDEs. You have Python, Jupyter Lab, but like I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted to show you how to use Jupyter Notebook. So let's open the Jupyter Notebook. And then after it initializes, it will take you to this page right here. And now we can start building our first Jupyter Notebook utilizing Python and run our first line of code. So we select New, open a Python virtual environment, and this is your Jupyter Notebook. Now, quick navigation on this particular file. Up here, this is the name of your file. You can rename it. So if we rename this test, it's a test.ipynb file. ip.ipynb always shows you that it's a Python notebook for Jupyter Notebook. So, and then you can see your name was updated. Now you can save, and this is how you run your code right here, or you can use different types of keyboard commands. Now, we can maybe do other videos later on to try to show you more navigation tools within this file, but the main ones that you have to concern yourself with is saving the file and running the file, or if you made a mistake, you can restart your kernel, clear all the outputs of your cells and of your code, and then run your commands again. But now let's get started to run our first line of code. Now, one of the typical first lines of code that any developer always learns, it doesn't matter which type of programming language it is hello world. So the way you do that in Python is you utilize the print command. So what you would do is you would type print, open parentheses, apostrophes, you can use double or single, doesn't matter, hello world, close the parentheses, and then you can run this command and you see it printed hello world. Now again, it does, like I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter whether you use single apostrophes or double. However, what does matter is if you started with double, you have to end it with double, and same vice versa. So if I save this right now and run this command again, it still gives me the same output. So again, it doesn't matter whether you use single or double apostrophes, you just need to make sure that where you start your string and where you end it, it utilizes the same type of format. Now, there's numerous different types of data types that you have within Python. And the main ones we want to concern ourselves with right now are floats, integers, and strings and Boolean values. So first off, a string. What we see right here, hello world, is a string. And a string is basically any text, any sentence, anything that is not a number. So, and the way you identify strings is utilizing, and I'm gonna save this in a variable, utilizing the apostrophes, whether it's single or double. In this case, I'm gonna use double, and I'm gonna use my first name. This is a string. Now next, we have integers. Integers are basically whole numbers. So an integer will be anything that does not have a period afterwards. So 1, that's an integer. 2 would be an integer. 3 would be an integer. There's numerous different types of numbers that you can utilize, but it's basically a whole number. Now a float, on the other hand, is anything that uses a period, a decimal number. So for example, 1.4 would be a float. That is a float because it's a decimal number and not a whole number, and therefore we call it a float. Boolean value is anything that answers true or false. So true, gotta spell right, true will be Boolean value. So if I ever run a command later on in your take journey where you compare two items, does 1 plus 1, is 1 and 1 the same, it will give you Boolean value true. If it's not, it will give you the Boolean value false. And those are the only two values that you could get. And then you can go further into, you have dictionaries and arrays, which at this point we really don't need to concern ourselves with. But let's run this right here because these are all variables that are saved these values in. So basically, if I call string, it will give me the value Brandon because that's a value I saved in it. And the way you notice whether you save something into a variable is with the one single equal sign. So if I run this, all these values are saved with their respective variables right now, and I can call them. So for example, if I want to see print string, it should give me the value Brandon, and it does. What's nice about Jupyter Notebook, you don't necessarily have to use the print command to show you the output of a cell. You can also just use the variable itself, run it, but then it will show you that, hey, this is a string, so it puts the apostrophe in front of it and shows you, okay, this is a string value. You can also utilize Python for doing mathematical calculations, just as a simple calculator. For example, let's do 1 plus, what's going on? 1 plus 1 equals 2. You can do subtraction. 3 minus 1 should also equal, let's make it look better, also equals 2. You can do multiplication, whereas 3 times 3 should equal 9. And then you can also do division. Now, when you do division, even if you utilize integers or slash whole numbers, division will always give you an output of a float. It will always give you a float value, so a decimal number. So if I use 80 divided by 10, it should give me 8.0. And as we can see, it gives me a float 8.0. And that is just because the way the system works, and it will just give you a float value. Now you can always cast these values back into a different data type, but that's something you will learn later on in this journey. But overall, this is a quick snapshot on how to start your first Jupyter Notebook and develop your first lines of code and kind of understanding the difference between a string, integer, floats, and Boolean values. So hopefully this was helpful. If you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe to this channel and follow me on BrandonLee_AI on Instagram as I take you guys along with my tech journey, and hope this helps, and looking forward to seeing you guys on my channel and engaging. Please give me some feedback. I really appreciate it.